I'm going to share with you some great information today. Information about automobiles, if you can believe that. I hope that your holiday was as great for you as it was for me. I am now officially a person who has caught fish. So that's pretty much just kind of like reminds me of the first few times that I went to the city. And I met a young man. I would put him in his mid-20s, maybe a little earlier than that. You can't tell too much of a guy's age these days. And I asked him what he drove. And he looked at me and he said, drove? He said, I don't even have a driver's license. And for me, being the car guy that I am, I absolutely could not believe that someone would be in the mid-20s and not have a car, much less a car driver's license. But if you live in the city, you take the shuttle, you take the train, and that's all you really need to go from point A to point B. Or otherwise, you take a cab, which is exactly what I do when I get to the city. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. I'm live. Thank God. I'm back from Cabo San Lucas, where I've got a surprise for you. Now, my crew has not seen this yet, and so this will be the first time that I'll share this. It's a new hat. Not that I'm going to wear this hat all the time, but this is a hat that I bought at the office. I don't know if any of you have ever been to the office on the beach in Cabo San Lucas, but there you go. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? I don't know how it fits over this headset very well, but don't laugh. That is the hat that I wore when I went fishing. I caught a Dorado, and this time of year, along the lower Pacific Peninsula there, the very tip of the Baja Sur, the tip of California and Mexico there in Cabo San Lucas. Los Cabos is where we flew into. You like my hat, Bill?
That is beautiful, and I'm jealous now.
It really is a really neat hat. I bought this hat, and it's I didn't buy anything else while I was there except a little vacation time, and I wore this hat. I caught a Dorado, which is, by the way, a mahi-mahi, and during this time of year, 25 pounders are the average that are run, and anything over 30 pounds is a big deal, and mine was 33. And it's like the first time that I've ever been fishing. I have been fishing before and got deathly sick and made my decision never to do that again. And so this year I followed my friend's advice and took a little Dramamine the night before and Dramamine that morning, and it worked. And went out and caught that 33-pounder, and some other friends that were with us on the boat caught their fish. We were in what's called a pongo. And a pongo is not much of a boat, I can tell you that. And it's a little, not a flat bottom boat, but it certainly is not I'd give it a 18-20 foot length at most, or maybe smaller. But in the Pacific around Cabo San Lucas, the water rocks back and forth, so you got to have some fairly good sea legs not to get sick. Anyway, I caught a 33-pounder, and then my buddies caught one, and they lost one, and they caught another one, and then on the way back we were heading back home and still had the trollers out there. And I reached over in my mind and I said, maybe I'll, catch another one if I tug the line. So I kind of reached over on the line as it was, trolling in the water, and gave it a couple of tugs or what have you, which meant absolutely nothing. But to me, I said, well, maybe I'll influence some fish. And lo and behold, there it took off again, and that was so exciting for me. Now, I mean, it is here I drive a Viper every day. I drove the Viper to work this morning, and with 500 horsepower and 6 speeds and ungodly torque, and yet fishing for me was so it just goes to show you that we all need to step out of our element from time to time and get refreshed. So I caught this fish, and it was a 44-pound Dorado. That's a Dorado. That's a mahi-mahi. And for this time of year, or any time, that's a huge fish, and we have pictures to prove. So that's good. So that was my first fishing experience. And then about a week later, we stayed there a couple of weeks, and about a week later, I hope you've missed me, by the way. I've missed you. About a week later, I was invited to go deep sea fishing. Now I can tell you, it was okay to go out a mile or half a mile, but be within the shoreline. But to go deep sea fishing means that you go all the way out on this twin turbocharged twin diesel boat, 35, 36 feet long, whatever it was. Still not big enough for me, and the rough oceans. And we went out, and lo and behold, I did not get sick. And here's what's really exciting to me. I caught what's called a long bill spearfish. Now, if you've ever been to a long bill, I've never been to, if you've ever seen, or if you'd like to look it up, it's a fish that only lives to be 4 to 5 years old. 60 pounds is, I believe, it's a small fish, but 60 pounds is, not that I caught a 60-pounder, but that's I think the record. And the long bill spearfish, I have trouble remembering that, but it's long bill spearfish, was absolutely drop dead gorgeous. It looks like a swordfish. It looks like a striped marlin is what it looks like, similar to. If you have a chance, look it up and see what you think about it. So we caught it. And then, of course, it was a sport fish, and it was about, I'm going to say, 3 feet long, maybe 20 pounds at best. And, of course, we did not harm this fish, and we put this fish back in. But here's the important part. And then the rest of the day, I was so bored because the rest of the day we were rocking and rolling in this boat, trolling, and never got the first bite. Never got the first bite. And I was there as part of as a more or less a guest, although I paid part of the $500 that the boat cost to go out. But it was a friend of mine and his 14-year-old daughter and their wife, and it was a family thing. And he, at 14, I can see by being around them a little bit, they're having some challenges with this 14-year-old right now, and they're trying to maintain that family, and that's really tough. I mean, I can remember when I was 14, and I remember when my girls turned 13, they